Hello, shalom, hola, and welcome to International Day. You're watching Queens Women's Basketball on ESPN Plus here in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina, as the Royals look for Division I win number 1 by hosting the Longwood Lancers here at Curry Arena. Alongside Coach Josh Springer, I'm John Gross. Josh, you look at these two teams, Longwood out of the Big South, Queens from the ASUN, two very similar conferences, and a really good measuring stick matchup in the early season.
Absolutely, John. These two teams recruit the same type of players from this area. This is a huge litmus test early in the year to gain some footing, especially with both teams littered with some transfers.
Longwood's a young team, and one of those returning players who's been a key piece for them, Frances Ulysse, the reigning Big South Conference Player of the Week.
Well, she's priority number 1 for Queens. Queens really struggled guarding at the rim the other day against Winthrop. And for them to make a statement tonight and get win number 1 here at home against a Division I opponent, they have to keep Ulysse from dominating the glass and being a walking double-double.
The good news for Queens, the Royals have one of the best rebounders in all of mid-major basketball in Jordan Weaver.
Well, if you remember a year ago, I was the president of the Jordan Weaver fan club and still am. I love her motor. I love her game. She has improved her versatility, knocking down a couple from the arc the other day. As Coach Brown said, if she can be a consistent three-point threat, look out. She'll be playing overseas someday.
Here's a look at these starting lineups for these two teams. First for the home Royals. Starting lineups brought to you by Atrium Health. One notable change for Queens, Kamaya Ward, the senior center, making her season debut today. Jen Brown getting her in the starting lineup, hopes to give her some minutes in her first appearance of 2024-25. Meanwhile, for the Longwood Lancers, remember the name, Kiki McIntyre, the grad student guard, the leader of this team. She enters today 87 points away from 1,000 in her college career. This is a series that has some history to it. These two programs were conference rivals at the D2 level. Hannah Brady has more.
Well, guys, the second game in 3 days for the Lancers, and tonight it's a rivalry renewed. The first time these two teams have met since 2003, back in their Division II days. Now under head coach Erica Lang Montgomery, their identity is all about defense. Tonight she wants to be disruptive and be active all night, while also slowing down the game of Jordan Weaver while being balanced on both sides of the ball. The Royals are coming in tonight knowing how many turnovers that the Lancers force, want to be poised in the noise. That's the message that head coach Jen Brown has preached, as well as making the simple play and not trying to play hero ball and just keeping their composure against the pressure that Longwood presents them with tonight, guys.
Thanks, Hannah. And you see Jen Brown leading the huddle of this Queens team. Her 5th season in charge of this program. Queens has its work cut out tonight against a ferocious defense in Longwood.
Absolutely. It's all about ball security, treating every single possession like gold. Both of these teams love to transition, but in order to run in transition, you got to make 3 good passes, obviously be fundamentally sound and finish so it doesn't turn into fan appreciation night and throw one to everybody in the third row.
Erica Lang Montgomery leads the way for Longwood. 3rd season in charge of this program, back-to-back 9-win years in her first 2 seasons, and we are underway, and it's Ana Barreto, the native of Portugal, who puts up the first shot attempt of International Day here in the Queen City. Loose ball heads out, Queens basketball.
Well, and you can see Longwood right away attacking in the paint, trying to get in the paint, get a paint touch every single trip. They hiked it through their legs over to Queens.
Longwood presses from the jump every single game, and they nearly have a takeaway. Weaver scoops it up. Here's Wade. Dish out, Barreto to the cup.
Beautiful pass by Wade. Great job. Again, 3 great passes. You get a layup.
Jen Brown talked about beating this press, and she said that they have to make the smart passes. They did exactly that in that first possession. Here's Brown. 10 of the timer. McIntyre now. 87 points from 1,000 in her career. McIntyre lets it fly, clanks it, and it's brought in by Wade. Here's Weaver. Back for Wade. Alicia Wade thrust it into a sizable role here at Queens after transferring in from UNC Charlotte, where she was a reserve. And a blocking foul called against Longwood's Frances Ulysse. That's her first, team's first.
Yeah, and not one that Coach Montgomery's going to be happy with at all. When you have the reigning conference player of the week, you don't want your post player picking up a nickel dimer 25 feet from the rim.
Wade in some trouble. Wade puts it up off the window, gets her own offensive rebound. Knapp finds Weaver. Entry feed, Ward underneath. Kamaya Ward, her first basket of the 2024-25 season.
Beautiful pass by Weaver. You're 40 or 5 for a layup. Great interior nugget.
Underneath, tough layup. Malia Brown gets it to go. The senior guard Brown had just 4 points last game in the loss against Georgia Southern. That was a 68-64 loss for Longwood. Overcame a 13-point deficit in that third quarter, still fell short. Pahetu inside, lovely feed, and Weaver gets it to go.
Great patience, great screen at the elbow, easy bucket for Weaver. Both teams playing man-to-man here. Longwood in that 2-2-1 three-quarter court press off a make.
Robinson to the basket, bounces out. Weaver collects the miss, chucks it ahead. And a whistle in the backcourt. Was Weaver on the baseline when she caught that. And some discussion between our officials, Meg Dahlman, Chris Collins, Desiree Dobson. Our officiating crew. It will be Queens basketball.
Oh, but that's a big miss. that is a huge miss. Weaver just threw a touchdown right there to Map, and now you wipe that play off the board. Not only is it a basket, it's a huge momentum play. I know the referee said my fault, but as a coach, that one would hurt.
And it allows Longwood to set up this press, which is its strong suit. Queens able to break it. Weaver, kick out. Map, penetrates, pulls, swatted. Jamaya Robinson, her third block of the season.
One of the things I love is Queens is getting the ball to the middle of the floor. They're not getting pinned on a sideline. A big key for success breaking any press.
Map. Searching for Ward. Is it knocked away? Ward through traffic. Comes up a little short. Esenavalu the rebound.
Yeah, the post feed was late. Ward was open really early. I thought they got it to her really late in the possession.
Here's Esenavalu, the reigning Big South All-Freshman team selection. McIntyre now. Wheels inside. Esenavalu from the mid-range. Gets it to go.
That's beautiful touch from a post player. Knocked it down. Great rotation from 17.
She was limited last game due to foul trouble at 4 fouls in just 10 minutes. Only put up 2 points against Georgia Southern. Wade to the basket. Too much. Brought in by Robinson. Longwood down by 2. Esenavalu denied by Ward. Gets it back, shovels it for Brown. That rattles out as well. Running the floor, Weaver all the way.
Beautiful basketball right there. I love seeing the Carolina assist. Weaver and Wade pointing at each other. All right, shout out to Carolina basketball.
That'll give you a lot of, get you a lot of fans in this state, that's for sure, Josh, as Ward has the rejection.
Well, we need to talk about Ward, because what did Jen Brown tell us earlier today? She has made a major impact. She said, we're going to start her. She's been battling a little injury, and we're going to ride her as long as we can. She's had 3 great blocks already in the first 4 minutes. So she doesn't need to score to be a presence for Queens.
Ward was a key piece of last year's team. Oh, Esenavalu wasn't looking for it, off her face. Well, that's one you don't see every day.
The pass was on time and target.
Pahetu muscles to the basket. The shot fake off the window. Tough bucket for the Portuguese guard.
You know she's going to show out. It's International Week here at Queens.
One of 4 international players in this roster. 2 from Portugal, Pahetu being one of them, 1 from Israel, and 1 from Argentina. Here's Lily Booker, a local player, turned away by Ward. Weaver chucks it ahead. Map ahead of the pack, and a travel.
So as I tell our players at Providence Day, LeBron James doesn't even get away with that many steps.
That's saying something. He gets away with a lot.
But here's what I love. Queens is pushing it. Another great pass by Weaver, and unfortunately one too many steps for Mapp, two too many steps for Mapp. But they are doing the right things. Ward has been the player of the game thus far. What she's doing, controlling the paint on the defensive end, was totally missing the other day against Winthrop.
She led this team last season with 27 blocks. Pull up, Harris rims out. Esinavalu stumbles and knocks it out. Queens basketball.
And that's the shot they're going to give up. Ward was in drop coverage off a ball screen. They gave up the 17-footer. Longwood's going to have to hit a lot of those because, again, Ward has been commanding at the rim.
Longwood sets up its press. They are 12th nationally in opponent turnovers per game. Weaver to the cup, off to the right, tapped out to Bolden. Here's Wilson running the floor. Wilson, long two, clanks it, ahead of the rebounds. Mapp sprints to the basket, this time puts in the deck, but misses the layup. Ward muscles for the offensive rebounds. And a whistle first.
You can see the difference Mapp is making. Local product right down the road in South Carolina, came from UMass, now back home, and she's running the floor beautifully for the Royals.
That last foul against Esinavalu brings us to immediate timeout, 10-4 Royals, midway through the first.
This is how it feels to live purposefully, to live gracefully. When you have a health partner who doesn't just treat part of you, they care for all of you. That's why more people prefer Atrium Health, because unrivaled care is easier, more accessible, and more complete than ever before. Because the only way to be your best self is with your best health. That's what it means to live meaningfully, to live joyfully, to live fully.
At University Volvo on North Tryon Street, we believe in driving excellence both on the road and in education. So join us in celebrating the bright minds shaping our future. University Volvo is a proud sponsor of Queen's University of Charlotte. We are driven by excellence and committed to community. Visit us today on North Tryon Street.
Welcome to the Atlantic Sun, where heart-pounding moments are born and where champions rise above, where speed defies limits and precision finds its mark, where millions of fans nationwide cheer for excellence, determination, and fairness, where public, private, and faith-based schools compete side by side, fostering sportsmanship and unity. From the beaches to the mountains, the Atlantic Sun is the destination.
I made the better choice, and so can you.
Before a city turns to you for answers, before the stories that need telling are told, and our nation's biggest companies look to you to make their next big move. Whenever, however, you're called upon to step up, Queens will prepare you to do just that. Because here, Royals rise.
Out of the first media timeout, Queens holds a 10-4 lead as Longwood breaks out the jumping jacks before this inbounds.
Active hands, active feet, every coach says. Deflections are every coach's favorite defensive stat.
Here we go, they're getting their workout in early in this one. And Bahetu brings it in for Queens. Royals searching for D1 win number 1. Coming off of a 69-52 loss against Winthrop on Wednesday. As Ward backs inside, kick out, Mapp three. Too much. Ward another offensive rebound for her, muscles to the cup and puts it in.
Effort basket, effort basket, effort basket. Ward doing a heck of a job.
Harris gets it to go through traffic.
Longwood's changed up their press now, John. Now they've gone to a diamond and one.
Queens thus far having no issues against this vaunted Longwood defense. Just one turnover for Queens. Wade. 10 of the shot clock. Behetu. Ward. Swings it for Wade. 3 to shoot from distance. That bounces off. Brought in by Robinson.
Ward missed Weaver. Weaver was sealing right at the rim, had a small guard, and they missed her.
Here's Ulisse, the reigning conference player of the week, all the way to the cup, sticks it.
Showing us why she's the reigning conference player of the week.
Had a career-high 16 points in the game against Georgia Southern last time out. That was Saturday morning. A couple days later, they're playing Monday night at Queens. Behetu thought about it, and it traveled.
Here's one of the issues, John. Look how deep Longwood is into their bench. They're 9-10 deep already, and when you press for 40 minutes, you have to be. When does fatigue start to play an issue? Mapp still in the game. Weaver still in the game. Ward still in the game. You just saw a fatigue travel right there.
You mentioned this Longwood bench. It is a deep team. Longwood is 13th nationally with 38 bench points per game, and Longwood's bench has outscored the opposition in all 5 games. Ulisse, the drop step, left it short, Mapp the rebounds. Queens clinging to this 4-point lead inside the final 3 minutes of this first. Here's Freire, another international player, banks it in! On International Day, it's the Portuguese freshman.
Still counts as 3 in the box score. It won't say bank next to it.
And an errant feed. Again, it's the defense from Kamaya Ward.
I can't say enough good things, and I love this substitution. Give her a 2-minute break here till the quarter, and don't be surprised to see Ward come back to start the second quarter.
What a debut for Kamaya Ward in her first 7 minutes and 29 seconds, making a major impact on this one. And a turnover picked up by Brown. 4 on 3 underneath. Here's Harris. Back for Harris, thought about it. Pulls up, Harris connects.
Great job by Harris attacking the long closeout of House. The best time to drive the basket is when the defense is running at you from a long distance.
And that's how Longwood finds its offense. Turnovers into buckets as Wade dishes. House backs her way in, has the size advantage. Knocked away, Brown the steal. Malia Brown, one of the returning players in this team, missed it short. Ulisse the offensive rebound. Too much again, and House snags it. Longwood just 5 of 17 from the fields. Weaver, the drop step, and the finish.
Big time move. Caught the ball on a jump stop, spin move, beautiful left-hand finish. She is much improved as an offensive player from a year ago.
It's one of the areas Jen Brown said that Weaver's been working on the offensive end, especially with her jump shooting, but that time showing her paint presence. Ulisse to the cup, through the contact, and one!
Well, and here's the problem if you're Jen Brown. Ward can't play 40 minutes, but the second she went out of the game, what happened here? She went out of the game, and you see Ulisse going right to the basket here, all right? And again, she's been living at the rim. Tough call right there for the Royals, but the right call. The defender was inside the arc, slid over, but you can see, Ward didn't even get her 2-minute, 27-second break. Coach Brown saw 3 possessions in a row where number 13 in blue is dominating the paint. She said, that's enough. You can rest twice, halftime and after the game. I guess we can count those quarter breaks as well.
Yeah, you'll get a couple of minutes there, a couple of minutes during a timeout or two. But Ward getting some early run, significant run in her season debut as Ulisse rattles home the free throw. 5 points in this first for the sophomore from Montreal, Canada. Fitting that an international player for Longwood would have a big start to the game on International Day for Queens. Caitlin Adams has her pocket picked. That'll stay with Queens, but just 2 seconds to get it across the timeline.
Caitlin Adams, the product of Winston-Salem Christian, legendary coach Delaney Rudd, incredible high school basketball coach up there, played in the league, runs the Phoenix AAU program as well. He does a phenomenal job churning out college players year after year.
And a 10-second violation, another turnover forced by this press.
So again, when you pressure for 40 minutes, it's like a boxing match. Not what we saw from Iron Mike, who's not quite Iron Mike. What I mean by that is the first 5 minutes, Queens handled it brilliantly, but it takes a toll on you over the course of 40 minutes. In the last 5 minutes, Queens has given it away too often.
I was going to say, this has been far more exciting than Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, no doubt about that, as Harris kicks it out for Brown late in this first quarter. Brown weaves her way, kick out. Harris from the corner, splash! Shot clock unplugged. Queens leads it by 1. Weaver in trouble. Leaves it out for Smith. Smith knocked away. Finds Ward. Baseline drive, Adams. Her feet knocked away. Weaver for 3. Hops out, rebounded by Esinavalu. Brown at the buzzer. It is off the mark. But Longwood's defense turns the corner late in that first and trims this deficit down to 1. We have played 10. Queens leads it 17-16 over Longwood. It's been 6 points for the Royals. Star forward Jordan Weaver doing her thing. Start of the second quarter, Queens leads Longwood by 1. Coach Springer, that was a first quarter that was a tale of 2 5-minute stretches.
Yeah, initially we talked about Queens taking great care of the rock the first half, but then they gave it away now 4 times in the final 4 minutes. One of the things I'm watching is how much does Coach Jen Brown trust her bench. You look out here, you see mostly starters out there for Queens. She's going to be willing to play them 30, 32, 36 minutes here.
McIntyre all the way.
I love that play call. McIntyre off to a little bit of a slow start, 0 for 1. So what do? Get your leading scorer a bucket on a beautiful clear-out play on the left side of the floor.
Closing in on 1,000 in her career. She is 85 away from that mark as Bahetu draws the foul in the backcourt. Ana Bahetu, the native of Portugal. And she is one of 2 Portuguese players on this roster. Hannah Brady has more on their special connection.
Coach Jen Brown trying to get something working for her team. She said, we need to lock in, do your job, stop scrambling, and keep it simple, and be ready when your number is called. She said, offensively, we need to slow down. They can't guard you at half court, but she said, keep running the floor. That's what I want to see here in the second quarter, guys.
Thanks, Hannah. Jordan Weaver, that last bucket, and McIntyre has another one.
How much does Coach Jen Brown trust Jordan Weaver? She's taking the ball out. She's the safety valve, bringing the ball up the floor. That means I trust her brain and her passing.
And Queens gives it away again. The Royals had just 1 turnover into the first media timeout. They now have 6. What can they do to change that?
Well, I just think Hannah touched on it in the open, staying poised through the noise. And that's easier said than done, but it's not letting 1 turnover turn into 4, because that's where the 8-0 run happens for the other team. And so it's having a next play mentality, it's remembering your fundamentals, short, safe passes, it's going to meet passes, and always fake to make to meet it.
McIntyre floats inside, Asinavalu skips it across. Harris. There's Robinson. 4 on the shot clock. Brown, desperation, Brown hits it.
Impressive shot fake by Brown to get the defender in the air and calmly sank the 17-footer.
Malia Brown, 4 points today. She had 4 points in the entire game against Georgia Southern on Saturday. Was just 1 of 11 from the field in that matchup.
You had to figure she would bounce back. She's too good of a player to be that cold back-to-back games.
Off the mark from Weaver and a rebound from McIntyre, who is fouled 80 feet away from the basket.
You know what, I'm okay with that. It's easy to say why. When you're a relentless offensive rebounder like Weaver is, leading the ASUN in rebounding a year ago and going for that title again this year, you're going to get one where you're a little too aggressive sometimes. I'd rather have that than no one going to the glass.
It's Weaver's first personal, team's first of the second quarter. Brown, step back, feeling it. Brown makes it rain.
So the horn set right there by Longwood. The Queens defender went underneath the screen, giving Brown all the real estate she needed. She just hit a 17-footer. That made that 3 feel all too comfortable.
Bahetu chucks it across, and an errant toss results in turnover number 7 for Queens.
Yeah, the game has significantly shifted the last 6-7 minutes. Now it's being played on Longwood terms. Again, way too many turnovers for Queens right here, and Longwood really being able to execute their stuff in the half court. Queens trying to give Longwood a dose of their own medicine now with some full court pressure.
7-point run for the Lancers. Changes for both teams. J.C. Bolden, the junior guard, heads on for the first time today for Longwood. And Alyssa Lewis, who did not play last week against Winthrop, enters the NC State transfer for Queens. Brown, the hot hand, has scored on back-to-back possessions. She wants more. Brown, that shot altered by Ward, and Weaver rips it away. Numbers for Queens. Weaver all the way off the window.
Impressive finish by Weaver. Rule number 1 of a 2-on-1 fast break. Don't give up the ball unless somebody stops you. Nobody stopped her.
Weaver showing off her point guard skills in that last take to the cup.
You already know my feelings on number 0.
The president of the Jordan Weaver fan club sitting to my right. Harris muscles to the cup, got fouled, and she will shoot 2. Amore Harris to the line.
Catch our breath, John.
This has been a marathon so far, my friend. Here's one more look at this Weaver fast break layup.
2-on-1 fast break. The defender bluffs, jumps into the picture late. Jordan Weaver's too good of an athlete, too good a body control, and she has been finishing at an elite level thus far today.
10 points for Weaver on 5 of 8 shooting. As Moore Harris toes the free throw line. 2 of 2 from the stripe this season, make that 3 for 3.
You can just see the confidence oozing in Weaver's game. It's unbelievable from a year ago till now in all aspects. She's not thinking, she's not hesitating.
It still blows me away that she was not an all-conference player last season.
A lot of times those awards go to players on teams of winning records, but I can tell you she passes the eye test, and I'm going to go out on a limb here in November and say she will be an all-conference member this year in 25.
You heard it here first. She's averaging 12 and 6 so far this season. Map. Ahead to floats it inside for Ward. Another giveaway. Chucked ahead. Nobody looking for it. Now it's tracked down by Map. Wade to the cup. Offensive.
Tough call right here for the Royals. Wade attacking the basket. I don't love that call. A for effort, but I really thought the defender was sliding into the play still. And again, A for effort. And it's the toughest call in basketball. Every day we talk about the block charge, but I don't think they hit that one.
Second personal against Wade. That brings her to the bench, replaced by Chanel Smith. 13 foul as well, as Harris stashes inside. McIntyre off the Ulysse screen, lets it fly. McIntyre clanks it. Lewis the rebound. Queens has 4 turnovers in the last 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Bounce pass for Ward. Ahead to pull up. Rolls in.
That is beautiful basketball. Great head fake and pass fake, and knock down the tough mid-range jumper.
On up ahead to 6 points in this International Day game. Robinson threads it for Ulysse. Battling against 2 defenders. Ward rips it away and forces the 3 seconds.
That was 6 seconds. I struggle with math, but that was an easy one. But again, the broken record. It was all caused by Kamaya Ward's defense. Longwood caught the ball deep in the paint, and Ward refused to bite on a head fake, on a shot fake, and eventually forced Longwood into the 3-second violation.
Ward making her presence felt. She has already played 13 minutes in this game. Jen Brown told us earlier in the week that she wasn't sure how many minutes Ward would play in her season debut, and another turnover. That is number 10 committed by Queens. Here's Lily Booker, the Charlotte native. Corner pop. Off the heel, Map the long rebounds. Map slips it, Lewis had it knocked away. It stays with Queens, and Lewis covering her mouth. Maybe took some contact there. And that brings us to our media timeout. Longwood in front, a 4-point cushion, 27-23. The Lancers lead the Royals.
This is how it feels to live purposefully, to live gracefully. When you have a health partner who doesn't just treat part of you, they care for all of you. That's why more people prefer Atrium Health, because unrivaled care is easier, more accessible, and more complete than ever before. Because the only way to be your best self is with your best health. That's what it means to live meaningfully, to live joyfully, to live fully.
At University Volvo on North Tryon Street, we believe in driving excellence both on the road and in education. So join us in celebrating the bright minds shaping our future. University Volvo is a proud sponsor of Queen's University of Charlotte. We are driven by excellence and committed to community. Visit us today on North Tryon Street.
Welcome to the Atlantic Sun, where heart-pounding moments are born and where champions rise above, where speed defies limits and precision finds its mark, where millions of fans nationwide cheer for excellence, determination, and fairness, where public, private, and faith-based schools compete side by side, fostering sportsmanship and unity. From the beaches to the mountains, The Atlantic Sun is the destination.
I made the better choice, and so can you.
Before a city turns to you for answers, before the stories that need telling are told, and our nation's biggest companies look to you to make their next big move. Whenever, however, you're called upon to step up, Queens will prepare you to do just that. Because here, Royals rise.
Out of the media timeout, Erica Lang Montgomery's squad. They pride themselves on defense. They have forced 10 turnovers already, 12th nationally in turnovers forced per game, as Behedu puts it up early in the possession. That's off, but an offensive rebound for Lewis.
Well, the good thing, John, Queens is shooting 50% from the floor. Coach Jem Brown would take that all season. The bad news, they've got 10 giveaways, and that's much too many at this point of the ballgame.
Smith, kick out. Behedu missed one earlier from this spot. It's an air ball on her second attempt at the possession. And a rebound for the Charlotte native. Booker threads it ahead. Esenavalu is fouled by Ward. That is Ward's first.
Such a beautiful pass by, like you said earlier, Charlotte native Lily Booker here. Lily is lightning fast, great pocket pass, and she's got the biggest fan club of everybody here tonight. Finished her high school career at Mallard Creek High School, and Mallard Creek is in the building tonight. Coaches, players, they are a powerhouse in Charlotte year after year, all right? And so, beautiful pass by the freshman. I know she's ecstatic to have such a following here.
She's had a major role early on in the season as Esenavalu knocks down the first, and you coached against her.
Yes, absolutely. Got to see her front and center, ridiculously competitive, great on-ball defender, tough nose, hard-nosed kid. There's no secret why she's here playing Division I basketball, and like you said, making an instant impact.
She had 13 points last game, and she is involved in the double team on that possession. Held ball will keep it with Queens. Longwood leads it by 6, despite not having made a field goal in nearly 4 minutes. Lewis, not for Weezy on the floor for the first time today. The Argentine gets inside. Alina Weezy sinks it.
I was just about to say, where does the offense come from? Coach Brown's trusting her bench right now. Oh no, what a momentum killer. You just hit a tough mid-range shot, and then Longwood, true to their identity, they shove it down your throat and you give up a bunny on the other end. No secret as to why there's a quick substitution right there. That's an automatic. If a player doesn't run back in transition defense hard enough, this game is too hard to get baskets, to give up effort baskets or the freebies, and that's a freebie.
It was Tamar Kopalevich who was late to get back, and Makaya Newhouse heads on at her place. Esenavalu buries the first and rims in on the second. Esenavalu 4 of 4 from the free throw line for somebody who entered today at just 58% from the stripe.
That percentage is going up, to say the least there,
Oh,
John.
yes.
And I'm impressed with Esenavalu, how well she runs. She's got that knee brace there, but don't let it fool you. She ran the floor, and again, you can tell she's done that 100 times in practice. Coach Montgomery says, we don't care if the other team scores. If they score, we're shoving it right down their throat immediately.
Turnover number 11 for Queens. Queens has had 10 of those turnovers since that first media timeout. Esenavalu floats it inside. Last off of Weezy. Stays right here with Longwood. 31 points for Longwood. They still have not scored in 4 minutes and 6 seconds. They've staked real estate at the free throw line, though 7 of 7 from the stripe.
Yeah, this is a danger zone, John, for Queens. They've only got one starter on the floor in Map here, and they've got to keep this thing close in the next 3 minutes till recess.
Esenavalu backs inside, and it traveled.
Great defense there by House going straight up. Love to see instant offense coming in the game here in the form of Agent Zero Weaver.
Agent Zero.
You got it.
That was Gilbert Arenas back in the day,
That was Gilbert
right?
Arenas. I'm so impressed.
Listen, I grew up watching Hibachi. That was his other
There
nickname.
it is.
Yep. Here is Agent Zero, Jordan Weaver. House backs in, and Newhouse is fouled.
Coach Brown was raving about House earlier today, saying she has all the tools in the world, still working on her fitness, getting in game shape. But you can see they came down and said, hey, we're throwing it to her on the block. She commanded a double team right away, drew the foul.
Last foul on Booker, that's her first and the team's second. House is 3 of 6 from the free throw line this season. The lefty misses on the first. A transfer from Paris Junior College. Jen Brown said that she loves lefties and harkened back to her days at James Madison as a coach when she developed a left-handed player named Lauren Okafor as House hits the second, who was drafted to the WNBA. She sees some similarities between those two, in fact. Brown threads it for Bolden, lets it fly. Too much, Weaver the rebounds. As it jarred away, and Smith will bring it across. Map, tough pull-up, bounces out.
I never like it when a player shoots the ball as an afterthought, and I really thought that was an afterthought right there. Map is such a good utility player, providing great length on the perimeter. I thought she should have gave that one up.
Longwood looking for its first made field goal in over 5 minutes, and they still can't buy it. Layup missed by McIntyre as Weaver races ahead, has her pocket picked. Wilson to the move, 2-on-1. Wilson dumps it off. Wasey commits the foul on Bolden.
It's just going to be hard for Queens to get a win if they don't start taking care of the ball. Again, you said earlier, John, Longwood is forcing 28 turnovers a game. Well, here it is. Defender in front, active hands, 2-on-1 fast break. Queens had no choice but to foul, but again, they're going to be pushing 15 turnovers at halftime here. Again, Longwood on that same pace of forcing 28, 30 turnovers. Queens is shooting about 50%. You better shoot it at 70% if you're going to give it away 30 times.
No doubt about that, especially when Longwood is hitting free throws at the clip that they are. They are now 8 of 8 from the charity stripe.
Well, and not only that, they're getting Queens into foul trouble, making Coach Brown go probably deeper in her bench than she may like to, especially at this point of the game.
I think that 9 of 9 from the free throw line is J.C. Bolden. Connects on both. Longwood by 7. Map gets across, has it ripped away, and a held ball, possession arrow in favor of the Royals, who continue to struggle to break down this pressure.
Queens got lucky. Referee had a quick whistle right there. They were in trouble. Map was stuck on the sidelines, and quite frankly, probably should have been another giveaway.
Magda Frieri replaces Chanel Smith for Queens. Frieri, who just turned 18 over the summer. Got to campus as a 17-year-old, remarkably young, the native of Portugal. Entry feed knocked away. Frieri gets after it. Map recovers. 5 to shoot. Map has it knocked loose and turns it over. Numbers for Longwood. Wilson jumps it off. Ulysse kick out. Spot up. 3 ball. That hops off. Ulysse the offensive rebound. But she could not bring it in. And it heads back to Queens.
Really fortunate for Queens right there. Longwood had beautiful ball movement, a transition 3, and then Ulysse knocked it out of bounds there, or she could have had an easy putback.
Final 90 seconds of this first half as House pulls up, left it short. Offensive rebound for Smith, too much. And Ulysse, a strong rebound for Longwood. Longwood has gone over 6.5 minutes without making a field goal. Wilson looks to change that. It's an air ball, the tough contest. Weaver chucks it ahead. The sidestep from Mapp, an air ball. Neither team can buy a bucket right now. Wilson, oh, the spin, and she is fouled by Weaver.
The more frenetic the pace, the more the Longwood Lancers love it. And unfortunately for Queens, that's a big foul call there. I believe that's the second on Weaver right before recess. Obviously, for Queens to have a shot, she needs to be on the floor for the majority of the game.
It is, in fact, the second foul against Jordan Weaver. So she heads off. Caitlin Adams replaces her. 2 foul shots for Mariah Wilson. First-year player for Longwood who transferred in from Towson. Actually played against the Lancers while she was a member of the Towson Tiger team back in 2022, and she splits the pair.
Queens has to finish the chances they have. Yes, they've had turnovers, but they've also missed 3 chippies at the rim in the last 2 minutes.
Knocked away, loose ball, picked up, another turnover. Wilson leaves it off for Bolden. She has it stripped. Weesey picks it up and chucks it along for Adams. Numbers for Queens, Adams, offensive.
So we've said all day the block charge is the toughest call. Let's take a look here. Adams going to the basket. I like that one. I think they got that one right. Ulysses did a great job of moving her feet, was outside the arc, and again, drew the foul. Great positional defense by number 13 for the visitors.
15 turnovers for Queens. 7-second different shot clock to game clock, and Weesey gets it back. Here's Mapp to the basket. Mapp lays it in. Ends a 3-minute scoring drought for the Royals.
They needed that, and Mapp needed that. You could tell she was getting frustrated because she'd had a couple chances at the rim in the last 2-3 minutes. Great shot fake for her by getting the defender in the air.
Brown, drive and dish. Wilson from the corner. Mariah Wilson, the exclamation point. And Longwood heads into the locker room, a 37-28 lead. That made 3, Josh. The Lancers' first made field goal in 7 minutes and 40 seconds.
And despite all of that, defense wins, defense travels, and that's why you run a pressure defense like Longwood does, because we don't have to shoot it great every single night. If we turn you over and over and over, we get more possessions than you, and that will often lead to a victory.
Turnovers have been the story of this first half. 27-28 the score. Longwood leads Queens on this Monday night in the Queen City. Spend less and stream more sports with a special offer from ESPN Plus. Save $20 and get an annual subscription for the price of just 9 months. Stream all Queens athletic events on ESPN Plus throughout the year. Now let's take a look at the place where those athletic events are broadcast from. Over the summer, our Queens production control room got a bit of a facelift, made possible by a generous donation from the Perry family, adding 2 large windows so you can check out all the hard work put in by the talented individuals who bring you all of our games on ESPN Plus. Truly a state-of-the-art facility, one of the best in the region, and some top-notch people who work in that control room. Now we'll look at the upcoming Queens broadcast schedule. Queens men's basketball on the road at App State tomorrow night. And then on Thursday, Queens women's volleyball, their debut in the ASUN Championship. They take on the 1 seed in FGCU. That's Thursday night down in Fort Myers, Florida. And then both basketball teams back in action on over this weekend. They'll both take on the Spartans of USC Upstate. 37-28 Longwood leads Queens. Halftime rolls on after this on ESPN Plus. (37-29), the Longwood Lancers out of the Big South lead the ASUN's Queens Royals. And speaking of the ASUN volleyball regular season in the books, it is time for the ASUN Championship. Queens qualifies for the first time ever, in large part due to this memorable and iconic 6-member senior class.
Dear volleyball.
Dear volleyball.
Dear volleyball.
Dear volleyball.
Dear volleyball. Dear volleyball. I never thought the day would come to say goodbye to a sport that has brought me so much happiness. What a journey these past 15 years have been. You have taught me so many things, from how to be a great teammate to becoming mentally tough. You are more than just a sport, but a place to turn to when nothing else is going right. You have given me so many opportunities that I never would have been able to experience.
Through the sport, I have learned many life skills and discovered more about myself as a player and a person. You taught me consistency, teamwork, confidence, and how to push myself to the limit. I was a shy kid, but a different personality took over once I stepped on the court.
You've allowed me to face hard challenges and overcome them with the help of others. You gave me 2 best friends when I was 14 years old, and then many more when I came to college. You've given me girls that will forever be a shoulder to lean on when I'm sad, or just a call away when I need a laugh. You've given me terrible knees, a scar on my eyebrow, and a couple concussions, but at the end of the day, it was all worth it to be where I am now.
As I step onto the court for the last time as a volleyball player, I can't help but reflect on the incredible journey that has led me to this moment. The countless hours of practice, the blood, sweat, and tears, the unwavering support of my teammates and coaches, the thrill of competition have shaped me into the athlete and person that I am today.
I never knew that something so challenging some days would be the most rewarding the next. You have pushed me mentally and physically to be the best I can possibly be, and because of you, I feel like I can conquer anything life may throw at me. Because of you, I learned what true hard work and dedication look like.
From early mornings to late nights, you have taught me what perseverance and dedication are. Even though it was hard, saying goodbye might just be harder. You have pushed me into finding girls that are now my best friends, and I can't thank you enough for everything that you have taught me. I will never forget it.
And
37-28 the score here. Longwood leads Queens. Back to volleyball. The Royals, a stellar season in year 3 as a D1, 8th in the A-Sun Conference, most wins as a D1 program overall and in conference play. And they finished the season strong. Kendall Bush earned Setter of the Week, one of those 6 seniors that you just saw in that love letter to volleyball video. The Lancers a 9-point lead over the Royals. Second half will pick up after this on ESPN+. It's the start of International Student Week, and Queens is proud to have 187 international students, including our very own broadcasting graduate assistant, Ellie Fitzgerald, who hails from Dublin, Ireland. Here's a look at the international students on the Queens women's basketball team roster. 4 of them, Magda Frieri and Ana Bahetu, hail from Portugal. Tamar Kopalevich from Israel, and Tiziana Uisi comes in from Argentina. A 9-point lead at the break for Longwood. John Gross, Josh Springer. Coach, we talked turnovers a lot this broadcast. We'll keep talking turnovers. That was the big storyline of that first half.
Absolutely. 2 ways to get possessions. Either I rebound it more than you or we take it away from you. Queens is +7 rebounding the basketball in the first half. -7 in giveaways and turnovers. That's why they're behind right now. They've also given up 11 free throw attempts for the visitors, and they're 10 for 11 and knocking it down for Longwood.
Let's dive into some first half highlights. Remember, it was Queens who started this game off strong. They were leading through 5 minutes, but it's been Longwood since then.
One of the things I really liked is Queens passed the basketball, side, top, side. They got the ball to the middle of the floor, which led to some easy baskets. However, that went away at about the 4-minute mark of the first quarter. And from that point on till the rest of the half, Longwood controlled the game. They changed their full court pressure from 2-2-1 press to a diamond-in-1 press, even threw in some man pressure there as well. And unfortunately, Queens gave it away far too often over the last 12, 14 minutes of the first half.
So a 9-point lead for Longwood at the break. A look at our first half statistics, and you see it. That turnover number really jumps out.
Yeah, again, it's a simple math equation of possessions right there. And the good news, as I mentioned, Queens is dominating the glass. Queens is even shooting a good percentage from the floor at 43%. Let's see if they can come back taking care of the basketball, because if they were able to do that, they can get back to getting interior points in the paint through Jordan Weaver, through Kamaya Ward, and then they need Ward to be a staple defensively and anchoring the paint like she was so valiantly in the first half.
Let's set courtside to the third member of our team, Hannah Brady.
Well, guys, I had the chance to catch up with both head coaches at the half, and for Jen Brown, she was visibly frustrated. She said it starts with our bench, and I feel like a lot of our girls aren't ready when their names are called. She said, I want to see a little bit less silly turnovers and less fouls. And she said, I want to continue to take care of the ball better. She said it all starts with our point guards and keeping their composure and maintaining that offensive penetration. And then I spoke to head coach Erica Lang Montgomery. I asked her what her message was in the locker room, and she said, come out like we're down a 10 and don't give up right now, guys.
Thanks, Hannah. And those 2 points that Hannah referenced from Jen Brown, both things that you harped on. The bench and the struggles that Queens has had with that, and the turnovers.
So my coaching brain wrestles with this all the time as a 27-year coaching veteran. You get to a point about late first quarter, early second quarter where you're sitting there saying, especially when your team's on the ropes a little bit, do you want to run the starter at 40%, 50%, 60%, or do you want to run player number 8, 9, 10 into the game at 100%? And right now, Coach Brown's saying she's not getting enough out of the bench production.
Start of this third quarter. Entry feed for Kiki McIntyre. Longwood 3-2 on the season. Queens at 1-2. Searching for Division I win, number 1 of the season. First meeting between these programs since 2004 as McIntyre ducks inside. 8 of the shot clock. Malia Brown now has to go to work quickly. Brown, step back 3, high archer, it's in! What a way to start this third.
It's a backbreaker. Queens played beautiful defense for the full 30 seconds. You force a deep 3, but sometimes great players make really tough shots.
Malia Brown, one of the returning pieces on this Longwood roster, one of just 6 players back for Erica Lang Montgomery. As Weaver backs her way inside, and Weaver is fouled.
Going back to the deep 3 made by Brown, John. If you remember in the first half, she hit a 17-footer, and then she hit a 3 going when the defense went under the ball screen. So she's feeling it. Any hint of daylight, now that one she had to put up because the shot clock was down to 2, but any hint of daylight, she's shooting it with extreme confidence.
She's 4 of 6 today. 2 of 2 from beyond the arc, Malia Brown. As Weaver knocks down the first, it's a resurgent performance for Brown, who was just 1 of 11 against Georgia Southern on Saturday.
Where does the offense come from for Queens after Weaver? I know Weaver's a great place to start, but she can't get it every single time in the paint. So I want to look to see who's going to be that number 2 scorer. Is it Wade now coming back into the game after some early foul issues?
Wade had 2 fouls in that first half, 0 of 3 from the fields. There's Wilson, who hit that buzzer-beating three to end the first half, which was Longwood's first field goal in nearly 8 minutes. And it's an and one. The Lancers 2 of 2 to start off this third, courtesy of Francis Ulysse.
Great patience by Longwood, and you can tell they're moving the ball side, top, side. And right here, nice pick and roll. Ulysse rolling to the basket. The right call. The defender is inside the circle. Wade is a foot inside the circle, and so it doesn't matter how beautiful your defense is, how high your hands are. That was an easy and one call for the referee.
Francis Ulysse converts on the three-point play, and that allows Longwood to set up its vaunted press, which forced 15 first-half turnovers. Weaver and Wade able to work it across. Here is Wade, the transfer from UNC Charlotte, thrusted into a much bigger role than what she was playing for the 49ers, now in year one for Queens. And Ward gives it away. Wasey applies the pressure in the backcourt. Robinson to the basket. That rims out. And Ward has the rebounds. Matt pushes. Oh, lovely feed, finding the floor and linking up with Weaver for two.
Beautiful bounce pass, as you said, John, by Mapp right there, giving Weaver an easy one.
On the other end, Longwood easily breaking the pressure, and Ulysse has two more.
How many times is that going to happen? Every time Queens gets an ounce of momentum, Longwood just sprints the end of the floor and lays it in on the other end. It is hard to gain ground when every time you get one positive play, you give it back immediately.
14-point lead for Longwood is the largest of the game for the Lancers. Bahedu straight on three, much needed bucket for Queens.
Great down screen. Screeners don't get their names in the paper right there, but I think it was Ward who set a beautiful down screen to get the open look.
Again, numbers for Longwood. Ward called for the foul. That is her third.
So I've been singing Ward's praises all night, and deservedly so. That's the first time she left her feet early. And as you said, a critical foul because that's her third right there. A nice ball fake by Robinson. Smart offensive patience to get to the line and to send Queens' best interior defender to the bench with foul trouble.
3 fouls for Kamaya Ward in her season debut. Alicia Wade also comes off. Chanel Smith and Newhouse head on for Queens. After Robinson misses the first, off on the second as well, but an offensive rebound. Ulysse right back up with it. That's short. And she shovels it out. Through the hands of Ulysse and given away. Queens can trim it back to single digits. Bahedu, who just knocked down a three last possession. Mapp looking for the cutting Smith. Tosses it out of bounds. Change for Longwood. More Harris heads on, replaces Jemiah Robinson.
We need to call her instant offense Amore Harris. Came in the game for 10 minutes and was the leading scorer for the Lancers at recess with 9.
9 points for Harris, 3 of 4 shooting. Here's Wilson. The spin inside goes to work on Weaver, and Wilson is fouled.
You can tell Longwood has been relentless at attacking the paint. They get to the paint off turnovers, but every offensive action is leading to the paint. And now that's Weaver's third, I believe. So you've got Weaver with 3, and you've got Ward with 3, both on head fakes, both on shot fakes. And just, it's so tempting to try to block the shot. And again, unfortunately now, Queens is going to be in some real trouble on the interior.
Another miss from the free throw line for Longwood. That last foul was Weaver's third. She remains on the floor. And another empty trip. Wilson misses both.
And by the way, Weaver needs to stay in the game. If Weaver goes out of the game, Queens is going to go down by 15 or 20.
That's why Jordan Weaver needs to stay in the ballgame for the Royals.
There comes a point where you have to trust your best players. And there's no doubt, in my opinion, Weaver is their best player. She's got to learn how to play with fouls in critical moments like this.
Oh, what a feed inside. Brown to Esinavalu for 2. Smith, the runner, sticks off the iron. Brown the rebounds. Brown pushes. Links up with Wilson. It'll stay with Longwood. Lancer shooting it at 44%. That was one of the big things that Erica Lang Montgomery talked about, improving on their half-court offense. What have you seen from them in that regard today?
Well, I've just been really impressed with how cognizant and purposeful they are in getting a paint touch. Every single trip, Longwood is playing through the paint.
And they get inside. It's Harris. Left it short, another offensive rebound. That is number 7 of the game for Longwood. And it's Esinavalu who draws the whistle.
Just to take that one step further, everybody falls in love with watching Steph Curry shoot it from Mars, Caitlin Clark shoot it from Mars, Sabrina Ionescu shoot it from Mars. I'm still a huge, huge believer. The game is won on paint points and paint touches. Even three-point looks are most often created with paint touches via post feed or dribble penetration. Longwood is doing an outstanding job of just attacking the teeth of the defense, and they're getting Queens in foul trouble. They're getting to the free throw line, just creating problems.
That last foul on Tamar Kopalevich is her second. The good news for Longwood, they have one of the best 1-2 punches in terms of post players in the Big South in Esinavalu and Ulysse. Map squares from distance, that rims out, and Esinavalu snags her 6th rebound of the game. But what a luxury for head coach Erica Lang Montgomery to have that duo on her roster.
Well, not only to have that duo, but that duo is not in foul trouble. The triumvirate of post players for Queens all has 3 fouls now.
And the foul trouble resulting in the bonus early in this third. 5th team foul against Queens. Weaver comes off. That is the 4th foul on Queens' best player in Jordan Weaver.
My apology, John. I had thought that foul was on number 8, and it was not. I'm sure they were hoping it was on Kopalevich, but unfortunately it was on Weaver there. My mistake.
Major loss for the Royals. Second free throw in.
Again, revisionist history would say put Weaver on the bench after her 3rd foul. No, I still think it was absolutely the right call to keep Weaver on the floor. You were down 12-13. You're trying to make a run to cut it to single digits. Unfortunately, it was a gamble that backfired in a big way.
Right, you have to roll the dice. Jen Brown certainly did. As Smith pulls up in transition, does not get the friendly bounce. And another foul 90 feet away from the basket will send Longwood back to the free throw line with Wilson.
We're not going to have to worry about the fitness of everybody in the 3rd quarter because we're getting a whistle every 9 seconds now, John.
These will be the 21st and 22nd free throws for Longwood. Queens has only attempted 4. That being said, that's kind of just been the nature of how these two teams have been playing today.
They've got a ways to go to catch my Wisconsin Badgers versus Arizona game from Friday night. I don't know if you caught that, but there was 90 free throw attempts in the game. And I got to give a shout out to my Badgers for getting a 103-88 W.
Yes, you're a big Wisconsin guy.
The accent is still coming through 25 years later.
Oh, it's a great accent. Love Wisconsin people, always so nice.
We try to be.
Here's Smith to the basket. Smith draws the whistle. She's a New Yorker, and Jen Brown loves that New York swag and toughness that she brings to this team. Although she is down. She went down hard. Chanel Smith getting checked on, still down. As both teams head back to their benches. Foul was against Wilson, it's her 3rd. Smith, the transfer from Monroe College, first year at Queens. One of of the newcomers that Jen Brown brought into this team. Jen Brown checking on her fellow New York native. And Chanel Smith back on her feet, unable to put any pressure on that right leg. We'll take one look at this.
Great slashing drive to the basket. Unfortunately, Smith wiped out and also wiped out our hardworking camera person right there. Let's hope she's okay. Both the camera woman and also Smith there.
That's our camera operator, Natalia. She is a trooper. Camera is back on her shoulder.
She's day to day. Then again, aren't we all, John?
Oh, yes. That's for sure. As Wade misses on the first. There's Natalia with the wave. Well done, Natalia. Big round of applause for her.
No worse for wear at all.
No.
But here's the problem. Smith gets hurt, so as a coach, you get to choose who you want to shoot the free throw. Wade comes in and goes 0 for 2 from the charity stripe, and now we're going to watch Longwood have a free throw shooting contest.
Josh, we have seen 3 fouls committed by Queens, about 90 feet away from the basket, with Longwood in the bonus.
Those wouldn't be the most intelligent decisions I've seen all day, is how I could sum it up.
It sends Esenavalu back to the free throw line, where she is 6 of 8. Esenavalu, the sophomore from Valdosta, Georgia, though she was originally from Minnesota, and she knocks down the first. When she got to Lowndes High School in Georgia, early on in her tenure there, the high school basketball coach walked up to her and said, "Hey, you're really tall. Do you play basketball?" And she said yes. She played basketball and volleyball, became a member of the team. Here she is now as a standout sophomore for Longwood.
The coach didn't ask her. The coach told her, you play basketball. There was no question asked.
Oh, Wade on the sideline. And a turnover for Queens. And it brings us to immediate timeout. Longwood by 15. 4:59 to go in the third. We highlighted Frances Ulysse in the Open. She has lived up to the billing today, Josh.
Well on our way to a double-double, John. Already 10 points, 6 rebounds, and especially when Ward has been out of the game, she has owned the paint. She plays with a really high motor. You can see off post feeds, off of ball screens, offensive rebounds, running the floor in transition. She's doing it all inside, along with her teammate there, Esanavalu, who also has 11 and 6.
Ulysse, the native of Montreal, Canada, as they say up in Quebec. Elle joue très bien. She's playing very well.
I struggle with English.
Here's Mapp. Draws the blocking foul. We'll see if it was in the act of shooting. It's only fitting that Germany Mapp gets involved on International Day. Mapp.
Truer words were never said right there, and I'm looking at the free throw disparity right here. We've got 24 trips to the charity stripe for Longwood. This is just the 7th free throw for Queens on the night.
As Mapp toes the free throw line, Hannah Brady has an injury update for us.
Well, guys, Chanel Smith in visible pain on the bench. She fell down pretty hard on the floor, could barely put weight on her right leg. She was actually carried off by Jen Brown and the medical trainer. She got checked out at the medical bench, and she was being evaluated by the medical staff. She has ice now on her knee, and it's unlikely if she will return back to this game, but just a huge loss for the Royals, guys.
Thanks, Hannah. We send our absolute best to Chanel Smith in her recovery as Lily Booker, the Charlotte native, drops it through. We see in some trouble here for Queens, and it's taken away by Wilson, who lost it, bodies at the deck, held ball, possession arrow to Queens.
John, Wilson has 6 steals in the ballgame by herself. Just great pressure defense. You've got to stay off the sideline. Queens gets pinned on the sideline, and again, they try throwing over the outstretched arms of Longwood. You can see Longwood is littered with a lot of young ladies with the genetic lottery. What do I mean? Long arms, long legs, have to fake high, bounce past that ball around to enter if you're Queens.
So you're telling me that Longwood has long arms.
Amen to that.
Ward goes down, and it heads to the Lancers.
Yeah, I don't know if that's Ward playing to her strength. She does a lot of things really well, but dribble penetration I wouldn't put at the top of the list.
Ward making her season debut today. Big piece of this Queens team. The Royals drop back into a zone. Kick out. Here's Wilson. Drive and dish. Harris from the corner, clanks it. Wade the rebounds. She'll push. Numbers for Queens. Mapp nearly walked with it. Spins inside. Mapp off the window.
Beautiful finish by Mapp right there.
Here's the Charlotte T and Booker. McIntyre gliding to the cup, turned away. Queens looking to make a late quarter push. Weesey, kick out, and she tossed it away to Wilson. Another steal, who chucks it long. Touchdown to McIntyre, who lays it in.
We need some quarterback play like that in this city right here, John.
Bryce Young has some competition, and her name is Mariah Wilson.
I got to hand it to Bryce. He's played much better the last couple weeks. Excited for his future.
Wade for 3, rims out. Ward offensive rebounds. Spins inside, tough bucket. Kamaya Ward, there's the offensive game that Queens is looking for from her.
Absolutely, that's what she does best. All the dirty work, strong, powerful finish. Queens can't trade baskets though, so they go zone right here to try to hide some of their foul trouble and also to try to hope that Longwood misses from the perimeter. What a finish by Booker. Great body control. She knocked down the mid-range earlier. Now gets a chance to go to the line, and a big thunderous applause behind us from the Mallard Creek faithful.
Now there are roughly 30 or so fans here for Lily Booker. Going crazy after that and one bucket. Longwood actually had dinner at Lily Booker's parents' house last night. Coach Lang Montgomery said they really enjoyed that experience. It's been great for Booker to be back in town. A city that she is so well known. She was the Charlotte Mecklenburg School's Player of the Year earlier this year.
some of the best memories for players 5-10 years down the road are team dinners. The food, the laughs, the organic conversations, great for building team chemistry.
We got to experience that right here in the Queen City, courtesy of Lily Booker and her family. And she comes from an athletic family as well. Her dad played college football. As Mapp off on the 3 ball. And a loose ball scooped up by Brown. 3-on-1. Brown feeds Booker, lays it in again.
Queens needs a timeout right here.
Ward backs inside. Ward, foul. Count it.
That's a horrible call. Yes, there was a foul. I don't know how they gave that a continuation basket. Good for Ward for playing all the way through. She got fouled on the spin, took 2 steps, and then went up and shot it. I would say we'll take it any way we can if you're in the Royals family.
That's for sure. Jen Brown and company hoping to mount this rally. Actually, they may have said that that was before this. No, now they're saying 1 shot. There we go, just 1. It is an and 1.
Well, I was a little confused when you have both referees stare at each other for 5 seconds and then finally someone decided, all right, I guess we'll give it the and 1.
Ward way off on that free throw. Didn't hit the rim. It's tossed inside, and Ward, good defense. And another whistle down low. Esenavalu will head back to the line for her 11th and 12th free throws.
Beautiful pass by Booker on the backdoor cut. They missed the first one, but too much, too strong. When you've got Weaver sitting over there on the bench, Esenavalu having her way inside right here. Great pocket pass like we mentioned here. Ward had to help with left nobody to check out Esenavalu. She's going to set a record for free throw attempts in a game right here.
That's her 11th. She has hit 8 of them for somebody who entered today as a 58% free throw shooter this season. Misses on the second. 17-point lead for Longwood out of the Big South. This is the second of 3 consecutive Big South teams Queens will play. As Mapp is located down low, and 1. Back-to-back and 1s for the Royals.
This is what you have to do against a pressure defense. Longwood is applying great ball pressure, denying on the wing. Mapp takes her man away, takes her man away, goes back door. Beautiful finish on the and 1.
Germany Mapp, the transfer from UMass, battled injuries throughout her career. Only played 9 games for UMass last year after 3 seasons at Hampton. As Tamar Kopelevich heads back on, one of Queens' 4 international players, hails from Ashdod, Israel.
John, speaking of Mapp, can we talk about your middle school geography B title you were bragging about over lunch today?
Oh gosh, well Jen Brown said that they have these flags up here and only 2 players on her team were able to guess nearly all of the flags. So I gave it a go with a couple of our crew members. Jake Wright was into the action as well. We got most of them putting her heads together.
I am thoroughly impressed. You crushed them all.
That heads back to Queens, and we just got word Jake is also a Geography B winner in middle school. So listen, it makes sense. Jake and I, putting our minds together. The only 2 that we didn't get were the flag of the Republic of Congo and of the Gambia. Everything else we got.
I won't tell you how many I got. They might fire me. John the Renaissance man, not just the best play-by-play man in Charlotte.
Oh, well, listen, I'm alongside one of the best high school basketball coaches in North Carolina history, so you got your own stuff going for you, my friend. Ward has it knocked away, and it stays here with Queens. Final 40 seconds of this third, as it's swatted away by Brown. Stays here with Queens.
A volleyball spike out of bounds right there for countless deflection for the Lancers.
Officials looking at something. A little head back out there. Here come the jumping jacks. Getting long, getting active defensively. Mapp sinks it. She is heating up in this third quarter. Give her 11 points for the game.
Well, they missed Map. She was wide open on the first dive, but then the entry pass from the wing found her. You're right. She is heating up. They need to get stops. Queens has been trading baskets most of this quarter, and again, they've got to cut this thing under 10 in the near future.
Here's one stop. Frieri forces the turnover, and Queens can hold for the final possession. Lewis brings it across. 10 to shoot. Bahetu for three. It's off. Weak side rebound. Frieri goes up with it and one.
Uncle Mo going the way of the home team to end the quarter, John.
Magda Frieri. Ola, as they say in Portugal.
So when you shoot a three at the end of the quarter, you don't have to worry about floor balance. You don't have to worry about transition defense. So everybody crashes the glass, and Frieri makes a huge play, completes the three-point play. Queens cuts it to 9 going into the fourth.
Brown, half-court heave, off. Queens finishes the third quarter on a 7-0 run. And we get to the fourth quarter, a brand new ball game. Longwood leads Queens 61-52.
This is how it feels to live purposefully, to live gracefully. When you have a health partner who doesn't just treat part of you, they care for all of you. That's why more people prefer Atrium Health, because unrivaled care is easier, more accessible, and more complete than ever before. Because the only way to be your best self is with your best health. That's what it means to live meaningfully, to live joyfully, to live fully.
At University Volvo on North Tryon Street, we believe in driving excellence both on the road and in education. So join us in celebrating the bright minds shaping our future. University Volvo is a proud sponsor of Queen's University of Charlotte. We are driven by excellence and committed to community. Visit us today on North Tryon Street.
Welcome to the Atlantic Sun, where heart-pounding moments are born and where champions rise above, where speed defies limits and precision finds its mark, where millions of fans nationwide cheer for excellence, determination, and fairness, where public, private, and faith-based schools compete side by side, fostering sportsmanship and unity. From the beaches to the mountains, the Atlantic Sun is the destination.
I made the better choice, and so can you.
Before a city turns to you for answers, before the stories that need telling are told, and our nation's biggest companies look to you to make their next big move. Whenever, however, you're called upon to step up, Queens will prepare you to do just that. Because here, Royals rise.
If you want to locate the home country of Queens' 187 international students, you can use a map. If you want to come back in a basketball game, you can also use a map, but with 2 Ps.
Amen to that. John, she was the difference in the third quarter. Off to a slow start. Out of bounds play, transition, offensive rebounding. Again, we talked about her length disrupting on the perimeter. Now she's making her presence felt on the offensive end.
9 points in that third quarter for Germany Map. Has 11 for the game. And Queens, at 1 point trailed by 17, now down by 9. Start of this fourth quarter. In traffic it goes for Robinson.
I was going to say, I had the fortune or misfortune of coaching against Map in her high school career before she went off to star at UMass and Hampton, and then came back for a homecoming here at Queens.
She was a standout at Legion Collegiate Academy down in Rock Hill, South Carolina, as Ward has fouls. First of the quarter against Longwood.
Weaver still sitting on the bench here, John. The monster question is, how long does Jen Brown wait before she brings back Weaver? In the third quarter, I said, trust her, let her play with fouls. Down 11-12, and they're still down 11, which you can look at one of two ways. They've been able to hold down the fort, but obviously time is of the essence here. I think she's back by the 8-minute mark.
Jordan Weaver has 4 fouls. She's currently in the bike, staying loose, staying warm. McIntyre, big cross, fires inside, pass knocked away. Ulysse through the contact, too strong. Francis Ulysse, the and one.
I may need to readjust my prediction. She might be back by the 9-minute mark now. Again, Ulysse, too big, too strong, too athletic, finishes off at 2 feet. Great power by number 13 for the Lancers.
Change for Queens. Alyssa Lewis comes off, and Alicia Wade enters. That last foul on Kamaya Ward, which is her 4th. So Ward and Weaver, Queens' 2 primary post players, with 4 fouls.
And again, you know where I stand on this. First down, 12-yard line. I'm a big believer. If we're going to go down, we're going down with our best players on the floor. And so I'm bringing Weaver in right now. I'm letting Ward play right now, and I'd try to get 3 or 4 minutes with them. Again, great lead pass right here, aggressive play by both. Ooh, glad they're both okay. But again, I want to get 4 or 5 good minutes out of Weaver and Ward right here to try to get this to single digits so the rest of my team believes we have a chance to come back and win this thing.
Last foul on Robinson, her 1st. Team 2nd. Contact, Wade takes a spill, and she's tripped. Team foul number 3 against Longwood, just 1:07 into the 4th.
If looks could kill, the facial expression by Harris said, who, me? Who, me?
Here come the jumping jacks again. Entry feed intercepted by Amore Harris. Brown chucks it ahead. McIntyre missed it short. Offensive rebound. Shovels out for Ulysse. Harris pulls it out. Queens got within 9 to start off this 4th. McIntyre. There's Robinson. Long 2, left it well short, and it's a shot clock violation against Longwood.
I like the move to the zone for Queens. Their biggest key has been, can we take care of the ball? But I think it has slowed down Longwood in the half court. Now the key is, can you block out of it?
Frieri races across the timeline. Here's Frieri, spot up 3, bounces out, offensive rebound for Wade, and she is fouls.
Great hustle play by Wade. We tell our players, every shot by either team, you have to consider a pass to you. Wade isn't the tallest player on the floor. She's not the fastest player on the floor, but she just said, I want this more than you do. Outstanding effort by the small guard.
Alicia Wade searching for her 1st point of the game. Is 0-2 from the free throw line to make that 0-3. By the way, that last foul, the 4th against Longwood, the 2nd against Robinson. Wade, the former South Carolina State Player of the Year, as her 1st point of the game. It's a transition year for her. At UNC Charlotte, she was a role player. She's expected to be a focal point, and Jen Brown wants her to channel that same confidence that she played with in high school to the college ranks at Queens.
Yeah, sometimes players just need a fresh start, a fresh address. You know, obviously, everybody wants to play, and some players, if you see you're not playing as much as you'd like to at one address, they change addresses, and you can tell Wade's going to have a big-time role for Queens this year.
Kopelevich forces the miss. Loose ball knocked off of Kopelevich and stays with Longwood.
I'm just so impressed with Wilson. She hasn't shot it all that great tonight except for the dagger 3 at the end of the half, but she's doing all the little things. Countless steals, another loose ball hustle play to get them another possession.
Here is Wilson on cue, lays it in.
She's mad at me. I wasn't singing enough about her offensive game, and she said, don't worry, coach, I'll put a couple in.
Yeah, look at me, Coach Springer. I can knock down a layup. She's up to 7 points. As Frieri slips it for Kopelevich. There's Wade. Splits through the screen. Wade, a runner. Wade rims off. Rebounded by the Lancers. McIntyre pushes. McIntyre all the way. Nobody stops the ball. Kiki McIntyre prompts the Jen Brown timeout. And the Lancers have opened up a 16-point lead as we head to immediate timeout. Early on in this fourth, Longwood up 16. Magda Ferreri, one of two Portuguese players on the floor right now for Queens. Her and Ana Behetu, both from Portugal. They have a relationship that goes back before they were Royals. Hannah Brady has more.
Well, guys, in the spirit of International Night, Magda Ferreri and Ana Behetu both grew up in Portugal, but they also grew up knowing each other since they were little. Ana's father actually coached Magda in her youth basketball days growing up, and both of their families are coming to spend Thanksgiving here with Coach Brown in the Queen City, but the two are already having that well-established relationship has helped with their chemistry on the court. Just being able to speak in their native tongue and continue to push the offense forward has really been a big component of the two's success today, guys.
Count forced by Longwood. Out of that timeout, and as Hannah talks about the Portugal connection on this international day, it is so amazing what this sport has become outside of the U.S. I know you've had the chance to coach overseas and see the growth of this sport firsthand.
Yeah, John, I've been really fortunate over the last 20 years to coach a couple teams in Australia, Holland, Bahamas, Italy. This game is global. It is so global, and over the last 10 years there has been a major influx of international players all over these women's basketball rosters across the country. Why? I'm going to tell you why. When you're the head coach at a place like Queens or Longwood, you can go get an international player from Portugal, from Spain, from Australia, and they don't know the difference necessarily in Duke and Longwood and North Carolina and Queens. And a lot of players in the States, they fall in love with labels, they fall in love with Nike brands, they fall in love with who's on TV. And a lot of these international players, they just want an opportunity. They want an opportunity to get a great education and also hoop.
Welcome back to the floor, Jordan Weaver. playing with 4 fouls, makes it a 14-point game. This International Day, celebrating Queens' very diverse student population, and the response from Amore Harris.
X factor off the bench. Longwood 32 bench points, Queens 9, and Harris has 11 of them.
Longwood 13th nationally in bench points per game with 38. Corner 3, Frieri too much. Bahetu tracks after it, and that heads out.
Bottom line here, John, Queens has to get some stops. You know, they're on pace to give up more than 80 points, and you're just not going to win very many college basketball games giving up 80-plus points on the year. I think they were in the low 60s, mid-60s coming in today.
Longwood averaged 74 a game, Queens allowing 67 a game. Loose ball picked up by Harris. Held ball heads down to Queens, so there is a stop for Jen Brown's side. Really good mop work to get that wet spot cleaned up.
Impressive.
Very.
Do your job. What does Bill Belichick say?
Yes.
Well, he says a lot now that they've given him a microphone.
He does say a lot. He's entertaining too. I enjoy listening.
Extremely. Do your job. Half-court run and jump pressure here from Longwood. They were running some full-court man-to-man run and jump. Nice job by Coach Montgomery mixing defenses.
Lewis, 3-ball. This is her shot, though it's way off. McIntyre the rebounds. And harassing defense from Frieri in the backcourt. Brown speeds inside, dumps it off. Ulis through the contact.
Ward right there had to lay off, obviously playing with 4 fouls.
Frieri weaves through traffic, flip shot, no. Tipped around, Frieri the rebounds. Lewis thought about it. There's Ward, hands for Lewis. Step back, Lewis swings. Frieri, hands in her face, clanks it. McIntyre, another rebound, that's her 4th. Longwood getting set to make 2 changes as they inch towards a 20-point lead. They're +9 in this quarter, outscoring Queens 12-3. 8 of the shot clock. Malia Brown skips it. McIntyre, deep 3, rattles out. Offensive rebound. Wilson left it short. Brought in by Weaver, who pushes. Weaver has it ripped away. Kiki McIntyre, pure strength. 4-on-1, Wilson to the cup. Timeout, Erica Lang Montgomery. After that layup, and Longwood heads into our final media timeout with a 20-point cushion on this Monday night in Charlotte. a large contingent of Longwood fans in attendance. That's because there's a Longwood local on this roster. Lily Booker, the Charlotte native. We've told her story throughout the night. Family's in attendance. Really cool opportunity for her family to see her and have to make like a, 10-minute drive?
Exactly, instead of the 4-hour drive. And Lily's played outstanding. 7 points, 3 for 4 from the floor. Part of a dominating 32-9 bench advantage for the Lancers.
Erica Len Montgomery told us that summer 2023, she was in a gym watching some games as Ward spins inside and lays it in. She saw this player who was hooping, like hooping. She said, "Who is this?" So she looked her up. It was Lily Booker. She looked at Lily Booker's story and her offers. She had some D2 offers. And she's like, why is this girl not getting recruited? So Erica Lang Montgomery says, I'll give myself a pat on the back for this signing and what a player Booker's been so far as a freshman.
Yeah, making an instant impact, just a handful of games into her college career. And I'll tell you what, John, the folks at the North Street Press Club, they're going to be thrilled tonight. Having a nice beverage, having a great dinner, celebrating the Longwood Lancers win, not to be outdone by the Fish and Pig, the barbecue place on steroids up there, all right? Nash Osborne, heck of a job both places, and I got to give a shout out to my good friend Brian Rushing for dropping those nuggets. One of the best in-game PA guys around, folks.
I was going to say, that's some very in-depth Farmville information right there. Ward rips it away.
Well, I'll tell you what, up at Longwood, they've got that brand new arena up there.
Yes.
3,000 seat arena. Lot to celebrate for them.
Map through traffic, kisses it off the window. 13 for Germany Map. As you look for some bright spots for Queens, the second half for Map has certainly been one of them.
Yeah, she's had a great second half. You hit the nail on the head. And the shooting percentage has not been a problem for Queens. The turnovers are the issue. We said early on, Longwood forces 28 a game, and Queens is vastly approaching that number themselves tonight.
To 25 as Booker comes up short in the lay-in. Heads down to Queens. Frances Ulysse re-enters for Longwood. 14 points for the Big South Conference Player of the Week as of today. That was announced a couple of hours before tip-off.
I have a feeling that won't be the last one of those she racks up in 24-25.
I am with you. Day one starter since stepping on campus for Longwood and Frances Ulysse. There's Spahetu, lets it fly and makes it rain.
Beautiful feet right there. Great transition three, pass ahead. Spahetu's kept them in the game with a few bombs tonight.
12 points for the native of Lisbon, Portugal, the Ball State transfer. I've heard Lisbon is a beautiful city. Oh my! Kamaya Ward sends it off our camera operator, Marcus.
Tell you what, our camera folks are having a rough night. We're going to put helmets and pads on them next week.
Right into your living room.
That's right.
Timeout taken by Jen Brown with her Royals down by 13. The second of 3 consecutive games for Queens against Big South opposition. They played Winthrop on Wednesday, lost that game 69-52. They have Longwood today, USC Upstate on Friday. That is in Spartanburg. These are some of those tests that really show you where you are because pretty similar opposition to what they'll face in the A-Sun.
Yeah, Jason Williams has done a heck of a job with that team down there at Upstate. That'll be a tough task for Queens. Again, another local rivalry game, fertile recruiting battle for both teams right there. I saw a lot of things I liked from Queens tonight. I really did. I love what Jordan Weaver's doing. You like the second half from Map. You like the field goal percentage. You like that Ward is back. That's a big win for this Queens team. As she can get more into the fold, get her stamina up, she'll be a real defensive force for them all year.
Jason Williams, former coach at your old stomping grounds, right? Belmont Abbey?
Jason and I coached right next to each other for 2 years at the Abbey in 06, 07, and 05, 06. He was on the men's side, I was on the women's side. Great friend of mine.
The Crusaders at Belmont Abbey. Just down the road from here.
Exit 26.
There's Lewis from way downtown, nearly banks it in. As it's ripped away by Frieri, great strength. Ward misses on the layup, and Ulysse collects the miss.
Unfortunate there, such a good hustle play and no deposit on the return.
A foul right around the midline. Just the second Queens team foul of this fourth quarter. Second against Germany Map.
Another thing I'm impressed with, the score doesn't look great for the home team, but they are fighting and fighting and fighting. That's a great sign of the culture that Coach Jim Brown has created. A lot of teams play hard when they're winning, when everything's going great. It looks like this one's going to fall into the L column. With that being said, though, early in the season, some nice building blocks for Queens.
And it is remarkable because it is such a new team, 10 new faces, and around Jen Brown, a brand new coaching staff as Lily Booker finger rolls it in. That being said, Jen Brown said that the chemistry of this team is ahead of schedule. She really likes the group that she has. And Lewis travels.
How fast was Lily Booker getting downhill, laying that in with her left hand? Lightning quick.
Booker up to 9 points inside the final minute of this rivalry renewed. These two teams were conference opponents back in their D2 days in the Carolinas Virginia Athletic Conference. First time they're meeting since 2004. Oh my, the spin is off the window and out. Oh, Portugal to Portugal. The Portuguese connection for two.
I think you're going to see a lot of that this year, John.
Frieri with her second assist. 15 for Ana Behetu. Wilson makes it rain. Something about left corner threes for Wilson with 20 seconds or less.
I was just going to say, let me put a dagger in you in the second quarter and in the fourth quarter just for good measure.
Map flips it up. Germany Map to the free throw line.
We have exhausted all of our geography jokes, folks. Sorry.
But you know what?
11.4 seconds to go.
One thing we have not mentioned, the fact that her first name is a country with a J instead of a G.
Now we have exhausted
so now I think
all
we're,
of our
yes.
geographical information.
Now we have, yes, unleashed everything that we have in our back pockets. Map up to 14. Give her 15 points. I guess the one thing that we did miss, a Euro step from one of the Portuguese players.
Oh no! Let's hope for overtime.
Lily Booker, only fitting that the Charlottean runs out the clock as she comes back to her home city, puts up a stellar performance, 9 points for the freshman. And Longwood comes out with a 80-66 victory over the Queens Royals. Erica Lang Montgomery's team up to 4 wins on the season with this victory, led by 5 players, in double figures. They force 26 turnovers. Your thoughts on what we saw tonight?
Well, coming into the game, John, we said, can Queens handle the pressure? And quite frankly, Longwood did what they wanted to. They forced almost their season average, 28 turnovers. They used a deep bench to get 30-plus bench points. And how about local Charlottean? Again, Lily Booker having a great game for them. And now Longwood's going to be really excited to get back home for that 5-game homestand back to Farmville.
9 points for Lily Booker, back in her home city. Hannah Brady is with the Charlottean.
Well, Lily, at the half, head coach Lang Montgomery told me that she just wanted you to come out and play like you were down by 10 still. How did this team continue to create havoc to get this one done?
Honestly, it just starts in our defensive intensity. We pride ourselves in our defense, so just making sure we're pressuring the ball really created a lot of our offense.
A special moment for you, 9 points tonight, but you're originally from Charlotte. You played at Mallard Creek. How special was this moment? I know your family's in the crowd today.
It was great. Like you said, I have my family, my closest friends. Everyone's here supporting. It was great. Last night we had dinner at my house, so it was nice for everyone to meet everyone, and it's just been a great experience this weekend.
Now you pick up a win on the road, you head back home. How do you carry this momentum with you the rest of the season?
Honestly, we just keep working. I mean, every game is step by step. Like our coaches say, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So we're just going to keep working and hopefully keep pulling out dubs.
Well, congratulations, Lily. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks, Hannah. Thanks, Lily, as Longwood comes away with an 80-66 win. And there's the warm round of applause from her large supporter section in attendance at Curry Arena. Longwood moves to 4-2 in the season. Queens drops to 1-3. The Royals back in action Friday at USC Upstate. Longwood host Navy on Saturday. For Hannah Brady, Coach Josh Springer, our entire fantastic crew led by Jim Piscatelli and Jake Wright, I'm John Gross saying so long from Charlotte, where Longwood takes down Queens 80-66. All games airing in the ESPN network, so streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.